prevalent in New York City. And arguably there's a lot of cost efficiencies with that as well. So
Yes.
I don't know if I answered your question, but we've just thought about how do we apply and develop talent in this industry differently than it has been in the past.
Well, there were, at the time that we were starting Rocket Fuel, it was at the same time the financial industry was sort of crumbling with, mortgage meltdown, and that sort of bled through to equities markets as well. And so there was sort of the story that, oh no, all these quant guys are going to come from Wall Street and ruin marketing the way they screwed up Wall Street. I think it's actually less ruinable, just because of, like, you buy an impression, you put the ad. It's not like these things kind of get traded around and become toxic in the way that financial instruments can. But you mentioned aviation, and we weirdly at Rocket Fuel, we've got 3 co-founders. 2 of them are from NASA at one point, and actually one of our board members rounds it out for 3. So there's actually there's a weird amount of kind of autonomous computing thinking that goes into, how does the Curiosity rover land itself on Mars without any piloting, and how does it drive around later without any direct piloting, that kind of relates to advertising too. These systems that are living in these very dynamic worlds and needing to react by themselves without human piloting. Let's see. I guess we need to go to Q&A. I was going to ask one question, because we were talking last night about experimentation, and I think as leaders, a lot of us have this feeling that we don't expect everybody to be perfect, so we actually expect our organizations to experiment. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. What we really just want is for people to learn. So I was going to ask Bono, I mean, you're fairly open to experimentation yourself and trying new things. I wonder, has it been a matter of recruiting the right people that kind of think clearly and scientifically, or just kind of educating them about your process that's kind of led to some of the successes that you've had there?
Go ahead.
These, again, big organizations run with process. As much as they don't want to say they do, they really do. So to encourage innovation and experimentation, it's not enough to just stand up and say, hey, we want you to experiment, we want you to go out there, and we can't just hire our way to success. So there's an entire reskilling of the workforce that's going to happen over the next few years, and I think it's going to be one of the biggest pills that organizations have to swallow, because you also don't want to take somebody who's been on the supply chain for 25 years and say, I'm going to replace you with somebody different who's brand new, who has none of that historic background. So instead, what you want to do is you want to motivate him to still be able to transform his career, although he says, I'm super close to retirement, but you still want to motivate him to be able to transform his career and still bring those 25 years of expertise, but have a new lens by which he's applying those. So it's a delicate balance. And so I believe it's about creating systematic approaches towards innovation, as crazy as that sounds. So some of the things we've done what we launched, Mobile Futures, this week, is about